USA.
On May 22, 2011, the deadliest tornado to hit the U.S. since modern record-keeping began struck Joplin, Missouri, killing 158 people and injuring hundreds more. One of those injured, Emily Huddleston, believes the only reason she survived when the tornado struck her family SUV is because of divine intervention.
I remember this hand touched me on my left shoulder, and I heard the voice of an angel, and she told me everything is going to be okay.
3 miles away, Mason Lillard experienced something similar after the tornado threw her family truck more than 100 yards.
I saw 2 angels in the back seat. I was thinking that God was there and he was protecting us.
The tornado had passed, but Mason found herself fighting for her life.
I started yelling really loud for help.
After the tornado, I just dug through the debris and I looked up and I seen a 1-inch piece of angle iron went through the roof of the truck into her arm.
I didn't realize at the time that an angle iron went through my right shoulder and broke 7 ribs and punctured my lower lung and then came out my back this close to my spine. If I would have closed my eyes, I would have been unconscious and probably would have never woke up.
Miraculously, the angle iron missed Mason's vital organs and spinal cord by centimeters, but her recovery wasn't easy.
I was in the hospital for 5 weeks and 3 days.
Emily also had a long and difficult recovery.
I was in the hospital for 11 days. I had 2 surgeries and 2 blood transfusions. And they put me on a wound vac, which was very painful for me. When I'm cheering and wearing my skirt, like you can see my scar and everything. At first I was really uncomfortable with it, but now I'm really proud of it. Nothing bothers me about it now, so.
Returning to the place where each was nearly killed gives both girls time to reflect on their ordeals.
I kept calm pretty much the whole time. Usually I was the type of girl that if I got a little paper cut, it'd be a big deal. But with this, I think I handled it pretty well.
I think it's just crazy the amount of people that were saved that night, and that, you know, just there were so many close calls that I have no idea how they lived through it.
I felt like God was watching over us and that he would protect us.
There were angels everywhere that night. I don't have any doubt in my mind.
According to some survivors, visions of angels were just the beginning. Not long after the tornado, other strange occurrences were reported throughout Joplin.
I've been in the newspaper business in Southwest Missouri for 18 years, and the stories that came out after the Joplin tornado were like no other.
My house was damaged to the point where we had to move. As soon as we had moved into the house, within a few months, we had started noticing the paranormal activity. We've had doorknobs turning, couches shaking, things falling over.
The first thing we noticed were flashlights coming on and off in the middle of the night. We had an antique dresser or chest of drawers that had been turned over, and all its contents were all over the floor.
Was something supernatural lingering in the tornado's wake? Or can these experiences be attributed to post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD?
PTSD is an anxiety disorder, and this happens after a traumatic event that causes amnesia, that causes nightmares, that causes flashbacks. PTSD survivors have experienced hauntings or ghosts.
Hearing that there are paranormal events following the traumas doesn't surprise me at all. If it didn't occur, I'd be shocked. Probably one of the most traumatic events that happened in recent history was 2011 in Japan, a massive tsunami. And we saw the death and destruction. And what really amazed us was I'm very skeptical. People claim about spontaneous manifestations of physical paranormal phenomena.
The stories of ghostly visitations became so common that one of Japan's most prestigious universities began documenting them.
Yes, you can say the brain is just responding to trauma and manufacturing this as a hallucination. But you tell that to the survivor who experiences these kinds of things, it demeans their experience.
3 years have passed since the Joplin tornado. Its stories of paranormal occurrences have died down. But one survivor still claims to have terrifying paranormal experiences, even to this day.
My house was destroyed. I moved into a new house in June because I was homeless for a while.
Nick Corey lives 13 miles outside of town, but he can't shake the feeling that something or someone has followed him here.
When we moved to the new house after the tornado, the first thing I would notice was things were being moved. It's like somebody was trying to get our attention. We would hear female voices and different things in the house.
It's possible Nick's experiences are the result of extreme post-traumatic stress. But he believes what he is experiencing is real. In order to move on from the tragedy, Nick has decided to find answers to these strange occurrences.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Nick Corey.
He reaches out to Lisa Livingston Martin and her team at Paranormal Science to perform an investigation.
Nice to meet you, I'm Nick.
Can you tell us what happened just before the tornado hit?
Of course, we heard the tornado sirens, not sure exactly what was going on. We never paid attention, really, in Joplin.
Happens a lot.
Yeah, it happens a lot. The next thing I know, I get a phone call from my sister. She's screaming. She said, it's on 20th Street. It's headed right for you. You're gonna die. And then I went into a complete panic. My friend grabbed me. She goes, we need to get in the closet. Then everything just starts shaking. I closed my eyes and I started saying the Lord's Prayer. Well, while I was in prayer, I saw Jesus, Christ, in a white robe start walking towards me. All of a sudden, he takes his hands and he just goes like this. Everything just completely stopped. I hear this voice, and it's God, and it says, everything's gonna be okay. There's been a lot of strange things happen since this. I've brought some things with me.
Okay, well, let's...
I get a little worked up, I'm sure I just...
Oh, you're fine. Did anyone near your house pass away?
Coming up.
There's something coming through this door. He's trying to protect her.